The silent cuts that shape your fate. What if the reason your life hasn't changed is not because you lack motivation, but because you're carrying things you should have cut long ago? Pause for a moment. Think back to who you were 3 years ago, your goals, your discipline, your sense of direction. Now ask yourself, quietly, honestly, what am I still holding on to that weakens me? Because here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't fail dramatically. They decay quietly. Not from one big mistake, but from small allowances, small comforts, small compromises repeated daily. The late-night scrolling that steals your mornings, the conversations that drain your ambition, the excuses that sound reasonable until years pass. These are not harmless habits, they are invisible cuts, and each one removes a piece of your future self. Marcus Aurelius warned of this centuries ago, that a man's character is shaped not by what he wants, but by what he tolerates. Yet modern life teaches the opposite. Keep everything, stay connected, don't be too strict. And slowly, discipline softens, focus fractures, identity blurs. By the time people wake up, they don't ask, "How did this happen?" They ask, "Where did my time go?" This video is not about adding more habits. It's about cutting. Cutting what weakens you, cutting what distracts you, cutting what keeps you comfortable but small. Because before 2026 arrives, there are 9 things that must go. This is the art of subtraction, and the Stoics mastered it.
Why the Stoics warned us early. The ancient Stoics understood something modern society prefers to ignore. A cluttered life creates a fragile mind. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Notice, he didn't say lose, he said waste, because waste is a choice, a quiet one, repeated daily. Epictetus warned his students that the greatest danger was not hardship, but indulgence, not pain, but distraction. In Rome, people were surrounded by noise, gossip, excess, and spectacle. Sound familiar? The Stoics saw how external chaos slowly invaded the inner world, how constant stimulation weakened self-command, how emotional reactions replaced reason. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor with unlimited access to pleasure, wrote reminders to himself like commands. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But power over the mind requires removal. Removal of impulses, removal of false needs, removal of habits that feel good now but cost freedom later. The danger was never obvious. It never announced itself. It crept in as convenience, as entertainment, as just this once. Today, these dangers have evolved. They're quieter, smarter, always within reach. Your phone, your comfort, your social circle, your excuses. The Stoics knew, if you don't consciously cut what weakens you, life will slowly cut away your potential instead. And that brings us here, the 9 necessary cuts. In this video, we will walk through 9 deliberate cuts you must make before 2026, not to punish yourself, but to reclaim clarity, discipline, and inner authority. These are not trendy self-help tips, they are Stoic removals. We will break down why short-term pleasures quietly destroy long-term discipline, how digital noise fragments your mind, why weak social circles drain strength without you noticing, how emotional reactivity hands control to others, the danger of excuses dressed as logic, why neglecting the body weakens the soul, how drifting without purpose erodes identity, why comfort creates dependency, and finally, why an inconsistent identity keeps you stuck. For each chapter, you'll learn what to cut, why it matters, and how a Stoic would act instead. This is not about becoming extreme, it's about becoming unshakable. If you stay until the end, you'll walk away with a simple truth. You don't need more motivation, you need fewer chains. And if you value content that sharpens the mind rather than numbs it, subscribe. This channel exists for those who choose clarity over comfort. Now, take a breath. Let go of distractions, because the first cut begins with discipline.
Chapter 1. Cut short-term pleasures that weaken discipline. Short-term pleasure is not the enemy. Dependence on it is. The danger is subtle. It never announces itself as weakness. It arrives disguised as relief. Just this once. I deserve it. I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes a habit, and habit becomes character. Marcus Aurelius warned himself daily. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? Not, is this enjoyable? Not, does this feel good right now? But, is this necessary for the person I'm becoming? Short-term pleasures weaken discipline because they train your mind to obey impulses instead of principles. Think about it. Every time you choose comfort over effort, your brain learns a lesson. Resistance is optional. Over time, effort feels heavier, discomfort feels intolerable, and discipline, once strong, atrophies. The hidden trap. Short-term pleasure carries a silent accusation. You are not capable of enduring discomfort. And when you believe that, even subconsciously, you stop attempting hard things. Real-world examples. You wake up tired. You scroll instead of standing up. You feel bored. You snack instead of focusing. You feel stressed. You distract instead of confronting the cause. None of these ruin your life in a day. They ruin it quietly, through erosion. Seneca put it clearly, luxury weakens the mind, not because pleasure is evil, but because constant indulgence removes your tolerance for resistance. So, what would a Stoic do? A Stoic does not seek pain, he seeks mastery. He delays gratification, not forever, but deliberately. He chooses discomfort when it strengthens character. He trains discipline like a muscle. Stoic response: I can endure this. I do not obey impulses. Short, calm, final. Remember this. Discipline is not built by grand acts. It is built by small refusals. Cut the pleasures that make you weaker tomorrow, even if they feel harmless today, because freedom begins where impulse ends. Chapter 2. Cut digital noise. Digital noise does not shout, it interrupts. A notification, a vibration, a headline, a scroll. Each one fragments attention, and attention, once broken, rarely returns whole. Epictetus warned, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Today, that means being unreachable, uninformed of nonsense, unresponsive to trivial urgency. The hidden trap. Digital noise carries this accusation: you will miss out if you don't respond. But what you actually miss is depth. Focus cannot survive constant interruption. Clarity cannot exist in endless input. The mind becomes reactive, not reflective. Real-world examples. You can't read 10 pages without checking your phone. You feel anxious when there's silence. You confuse busyness with progress. The Stoics would call this slavery, not to others, but to stimulation. Marcus Aurelius wrote,
Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. But digital noise blocks that retreat. So, what would a Stoic do? A Stoic treats attention as sacred, limited, non-renewable. He chooses silence deliberately. He creates space for thought. He consumes information with intention, not compulsion. Stoic response: I choose when I engage, not the device. Remember this: what you constantly consume, you become. Cut the noise, and the mind remembers how to think. Chapter 3. Cut weak social circles. Not everyone around you is meant to stay. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. Weak social circles don't always look toxic. Often, they look comfortable. People who complain but never act. People who mock discipline. People who normalize mediocrity. Seneca warned, associate with people who are likely to improve you, because association is influence, and influence shapes identity. The hidden trap. Weak circles whisper, why try so hard? Relax, everyone lives like this. Over time, ambition feels excessive, growth feels lonely, discipline feels strange. Real-world examples: friends who discourage your routines, colleagues who reward excuses, environments where self-improvement is mocked. You don't regress overnight, you adapt. So, what would a Stoic do? A Stoic does not argue, he withdraws, quietly, without resentment, without announcement. Stoic response: I choose who shapes my mind. Remember this: you don't rise to your goals, you sink to your environment. Cut the circles that weaken your standards, or they will cut your future for you. We have cut pleasure. We have cut noise. We have cut weak influence. But the most dangerous cuts remain, the ones inside.
Chapter 4. Cut emotional reactivity. Emotional reactivity is the fastest way to give your power away. One comment, one tone, one look, and suddenly your mood is no longer yours. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Reactive people live in constant vulnerability. Anyone can provoke them. Anyone can steer them. The hidden trap. Emotional reactivity carries this accusation: you must respond immediately. But urgency is often manipulation, and reaction is rarely wisdom. Real-world examples. An email ruins your day. Criticism triggers defensiveness. Disrespect demands retaliation. Each time, control shifts outward. So, what would a Stoic do? A Stoic pauses. He observes the feeling without obeying it. He separates stimulus from response. Stoic response: this is an impression, not a command. Remember this: the calm person controls the situation. Cut reactivity, and others lose their grip on you. Chapter 5. Cut excuses and rationalizations. Excuses are lies we tell ourselves politely. They sound reasonable, they feel logical, they protect comfort. Epictetus warned, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. But excuses delay action indefinitely. The hidden trap. Rationalizations whisper, now is not the right time. But time is never the issue, identity is. Real-world examples. I'm too busy. I'll start when things calm down. That's just how I am. Each excuse preserves the old self. Stoic response: I am responsible. Nothing else matters. Remember this: excuses steal years.
quietly. Cut them, and responsibility returns. Chapter 6. Cut neglect of the body. The body is not separate from the mind. It is its instrument. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A healthy body is the foundation of a healthy mind," paraphrased from Stoic thought. Neglect weakens resilience. Fatigue erodes discipline. The hidden trap. Neglect says, "I'll fix it later." Later becomes never. Stoic response. I train the body to support the mind. Remember this. Weak body, weaker will. Chapter 7. Cut drift without purpose. Drift is movement without direction. Seneca warned, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. Busyness replaces progress. Days blur. Stoic response. I choose my direction daily. Remember this. Direction gives energy, meaning. Chapter 8. Cut dependency on comfort. Comfort dulls resilience. Epictetus taught voluntary discomfort as training. Stoic response. I choose difficulty to remain free. Remember this. Comfort is sweet and dangerous. Chapter 9. Cut inconsistent identity. Inconsistency fractures self-trust. Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Stoic response. This is who I am, always. Remember this. Consistency creates strength. You have now seen the 9 cuts. But understanding is not enough. Now we move to Stoic thinking itself, how to remain unmanipulated in a chaotic world.
Stoic thinking to avoid manipulation, the inner fortress. Everything you've heard so far points to one central truth. Manipulation does not begin outside you. It begins inside, in unmanaged emotion, blurred identity, and unconscious habits. The world does not control you through force. It controls you through impressions. Epictetus said it plainly. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. This is the Stoic key. Not events, not people, not circumstances, interpretation. Think of the mind like a harbor. When storms rage outside, ships are safe only if the harbor is deep and protected. Most people live with shallow harbors. Every comment creates waves. Every inconvenience becomes chaos. Every discomfort feels personal. This is why emotional manipulation works so easily. Guilt hijacks compassion. Shame hijacks identity. Urgency hijacks reason. Comfort hijacks discipline. But Stoicism teaches something radical. You do not need to react. You do not need to explain. You do not need to defend your calm. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. This is not denial, it is command. The 3 Stoic shields. First, detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference, it means space. Space between stimulus and response. Space where reason can speak. When you detach, manipulation fails because it requires emotional immediacy. Second, observation. A Stoic watches thoughts like clouds. This is anger. This is fear. This is temptation. Not I am angry, but anger is present. This language shift alone restores control. Third, non-reaction. Non-reaction is power misunderstood. Silence is not weakness. Calm is not surrender. Often the strongest move is no move at all. When others push, pull, provoke,
The Stoic stands still, and the game ends. Reclaiming freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. That is slavery to impulse. Freedom is choosing in alignment with principle, even when emotions beg otherwise. When you cut what weakens you, you stop leaking energy. When you control your inner world, no one can colonize it. This is the Stoic promise. Not a painless life, but an unshakable one. Conclusion. Become the one who decides. Let us be clear. This video was not about self-denial. It was about self-respect. You are not here to consume endlessly, not here to react endlessly, not here to drift endlessly. You are here to decide. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, and the quality of your thoughts depends on what you allow to remain. So before 2026 arrives, cut what weakens discipline, cut what fragments attention, cut what lowers standards, cut emotional chaos, cut excuses, cut neglect, cut drift, cut dependency, cut inconsistency, because subtraction reveals strength. You are not a pawn. You are not a victim of trends, moods, or noise. You are the player. Calm, clear, unshakable. If this message sharpened your thinking, like the video so it reaches others who need it. Subscribe for weekly Stoic clarity in a distracted world. Share this with someone who feels stuck but doesn't know why. And in the comments, write this declaration: I choose clarity. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because the disciplined life is not found, it is cut into existence. Stay steady, stay sovereign.